In this video, we are going to cover the Virdi biometric reader integration with ACM. So here are some of the prerequisites. ACM Enterprise 5.10.4 and above. You need to have ACM license for Virdi integration. This is what it's going to integrate ACM database with Virdi software. A Virdi software installed on a client workstation running Windows operating system. Also requires an enrollment USB reader installed in the client workstation. This USB enrollment reader is the one that's going to scan the fingerprints to add into Virdi and ACM database. A configured Virdi integration under the ACM external systems. So here's the architecture of the Virdi integration with ACM. So here on this side is the graph. So you can see there is a Virdi readers, the two models that we're going to cover, the two models that are supported by ACM. There's a database component that could be housed in an external server or in its own enrollment workstation. So for example, if the customer only is going to have one enrollment workstation, they can have the enrollment software plus the database all in the same computer. Virdi, when you do the installation of the Virdi software, it does install a SQL Express database and the software all in that same computer, and you can use that to house all the Virdi fingerprint database as well as the enrollment stations. Once that is all connected and you have the integration configured between ACM and the Virdi software, once you enroll a fingerprint and you scan that fingerprint and add to the database, the software, the Virdi software will send that information directly into the readers. So the readers will retain that information in their own local database. So when someone goes in and presents their fingerprint to the reader, that fingerprint is compared at the reader. So the decision-making process is at the local reader. And once that is authenticated and is validated, then the reader will send through an OSDP connection the credential or the card number back into the Mercury controller and that into ACM to open that door. So that's basically the process and how that integration works. Here are the two different types of readers. We have the AC5000 and the AC2000. The AC5000 is the more robust one, is faster, has an LCD display, touch keypad, also supports 15,000 fingerprints in its local database. So you can actually have three methods of authentication: fingerprint, credential, and PIN number. Supports MyFair, DASFAR, and HIDI class credentials. DAC 2000 is the one a little bit more limited, is a little bit slower, and has a database of 1,500 fingerprints. And you can authenticate in two methods, fingerprint and credential. Also supports the same type of credentials as we've seen in the AC5000. Along with the integration, you also receive a software from Virdi that will be installed in that Windows operating system client computer, and that software will provide the integration between Virdi and ACM. So let's take a look at the Virdi integration demo using ACM and the Virdi readers, biometric readers. Already logged in into ACM, so I'm going to go ahead and show you the basic configuration of the Virdi biometric reader integration with ACM. So one of the first things you want to check is make sure that under the appliance here in your license you have running version 5.10.8. You need to be at least a 5.10.4. and that you have an option for Virdi right there. Okay, so when that's done, the next step is make sure under the external systems you also have a Virdi entry created. So this will create some the ID ranges for all the Virdi fingerprint integration with ACM that you need to create. So after that, assuming that I'm already on a computer that have the Virdi software installed and the fingerprint, the enrollment fingerprint USB scanner. So I'm going to go ahead and go to identities now and show you how this actually works. So I'm going to go ahead and search, pick a user. So I'm going to go with Donald Duck here and go to tokens. Notice that he already has a token, right, or a credential or a badge, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to go ahead and add a new token. And the difference is with the integration with Virdi biometric readers, now you have two options under token type. So you have the default, which you can go in and enter your token number as you always did, or you can go now and select Virdi biometric reader. So once you do that, it will give you this screen, assigns an ID for that biometric fingerprint. You can now go and enroll that. So I usually do the never expire as a default. So this way, if you don't do that in a year, that credential will expire. So this way, it will expire whenever you want to expire, just by coming in here and inactivating that token. So next step is you hit save, and this will launch the Virdi software to enroll the fingerprint. So there's a couple options in here. I can go in here and hit this advanced enrollment, which allow me now to do a combination. Either I can use or even and. So I can do fingerprint, card, and PIN number. Or in this case, I'm just gonna go use fingerprint. So I'm gonna go ahead and just hit the fingerprint option here. This is gonna launch the fingerprint enrollment. You select which finger you want to enroll. In this case, I'm gonna go ahead and use this finger here. I have an enrollment unit right in front of me. Present the finger once, present it again, and now that one is ready. If I want to read any other fingerprints, I can just go ahead and select which finger I want to read and do the process all over again. After that, hit next and finish, and registration is complete. So now I have another token. So I can go in here now and see that I have two tokens assigned. One is a fingerprint. So next step, now I'm going to show you a video how I can go into the reader and just present the fingerprint and open the door. This is the Virdi AC 5000 biometric reader. Has an LCD display, the scanner for fingerprint, and also right here has a keypad. So it's all activated when you put your hand in front of the reader. So once the credential is enrolled, or the person, the identity is enrolled with a fingerprint, you have the option to either present a card and get access using a card and fingerprint, card, fingerprint, and PIN number, or just simply putting your fingerprint and you have a valid credential right there. So one more time, you can see that on the LCD display. We'll go ahead and present the fingerprint, and then if it doesn't read properly, it will give you also a signal that did not match or didn't read properly. So try that again. There you go. Now you have a valid credential. Also, the keypad is right over there. So when you enter a number, the number will show up at the display right there. So this is the AC 5000. After that, we have the AC 2000, and this reader has a ability to show a credential, so you can present a credential to it, and also right here you have the fingerprint scanner. No LCD or keypad, so this reader will provide dual authentication, credential and fingerprint, or one of the two. So I can go in and just enter the fingerprint, and you get a valid access. One more time.
and get that valid.